Welcome back, everybody, to the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 20. As today, season number 4, or at least the regular season, will be coming to a close. Our Lions are 15-0, trying to just be the second team in the 16-game era to go 16-0 in the regular season, with the first one being the 2007 New England Patriots. For perspective, the 72 Dolphins only played in a 14-game season, so that's why I'm putting the Lions there with New England. The opponent is the 6-9, nice, Philadelphia Eagles. And this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to look at the draft class first, then we're going to go through the game, and then we're going to do a full season recap today because I want to get to the postseason next episode. So, to summarize this season, our 15-0 Lions aren't a dominant team, as you can tell by these scores. A few blowouts here and there, like the Cowboy game, but most of these games ended up being really close. And it's just a matter of us winning the close games, making clutch stops in the fourth quarter, having clutch drives in the fourth quarter. This team honestly should not be 15-0, but we've found ways to win close games that I think will go to our advantage in the postseason. So I do want to look at the draft class. Here's the quarterback position, led by Josiah Cole, Zachary Wary, and a sleeper of mine, C.I.E. Tui, in the third round. Obviously, we don't need a quarterback, but I did want to look at a few of the guys. Running back is an interesting position. We're good with Kerryon Johnson, but we do need to change the pace back. Miles Sanders is at the end of his contract. I would not mind bringing him back, but I want to look here, see if we can find younger options. Fullback, we're good. Jumpman Baldwin. Wide receiver, I haven't dug too deep. The top player in the class is Casey Burgess, who does look quite good, but we don't need a wide receiver. Our receiving core and receiving depth is really good as it is, so do not expect us to pick a wide receiver at all in this year's draft. Tight end is a position I'd like depth. One of those third-rounders, William DeMarco, Andy Belmont. I think both of them are good options. Mike Gesicki, his contract is up as well, and I kind of want a blocking tight end behind Hawkinson, which Gesicki is not a blocking guy. This offensive line class is really good, and I think we could use another offensive lineman or two. Left tackle, you got Douglas Godwin, who's a stud, but we're not getting him. He's an early first. There are some good depth players at left tackle later in the draft. At left guard, Richard Meyer in the third round. Late first round talent, and then there's a fourth round talent player, or a fourth round projected player in Gabriel Cook. At center's really the only weak offensive line position in this draft, but we got Frank Ragnow there. We're good. Right guard, there's a lot of talent. Al Abraham, Wyatt Williamson, Danny Brooks, James Medlock. A lot of players who I would be cool with. And I'm okay if we get someone raw. All of our offensive linemen are under contract for next year, except for Taylor Decker. Then after next year, Akeem Downing and Aaron Howard are free agents. So 3 of our 5 offensive linemen will have their contracts up by the end of Season 5. Looking at the D-line, I think another edge rusher and another interior defensive lineman could be good. Tabui Achu looks like a monster, but he's an early first-round guy. We're not going to be sniffing him. There's no way we trade up in the early first round as much as I'd love to. We just don't have the assets and draft capital to get it done. This is a really good defensive tackle class. In the first round, you got Josh Pope, Ronald Sasser, Patrick Vincent, and Cody Dixon. I'm cool with Ed Oliver, and Trey Flowers can always kick inside. But Trey Flowers only has 1 year left on his deal anyway, so I wouldn't mind getting some young depth. A guy like Kai Cameo, a third-round projection. He's a player I'm really interested in. Another one is Jomichael Shepard, projected fourth-round, first-round talent. Terrence Jeffries as well. So there are some great options here in the interior defensive line spots. Looking at linebacker, maybe another outside linebacker. Emmanuel Grissom looks pretty good. Middle linebacker, absolutely not. We're good at starter with Jared Davis. We're good at depth with Jelani Tavai, Owen Jackson, and Peter Carney. I don't think we're going to need all 3 of those guys. And right outside linebacker, really not a lot of talent here. So unless we go with a guy like Grissom in the 3rd or 4th round, we probably won't pick linebacker. Cornerback is a need. Darius Slay is not getting any younger, and Justin Coleman's on the last year of his contract. So assuming we don't bring Coleman back, we're going to need another one. There are some darn good ones at the top, like Carlos Brinke, Jackie Barnes. They look great, but we may have to look at some of these second-round options. A guy that really appeals to me is Devontae Higgins out of Louisville. B-plus man and B-plus zone. That's really hard to come by in Madden. Cornerbacks have generally low ratings coming out of college, So having someone with B+ man and zone is really big. There are a few other guys down here as well, but Devontae Higgins is definitely high on my draft board. And then looking at safety, I think we could add another safety. Harrison Smith was only signed to a 1-year deal. We also got Tracy Walker and Charlene Budga, but I don't know if either of them are going to necessarily be long-term answers. Maybe Budga will because he's young, and Tracy Walker's only about 27. So safety is not a huge need right now, but it could be something we look at. Kicker is definitely a need. We're definitely going to be drafting a kicker. Matt Prater will not be coming back next season. He's just not played well. And then punter, we're totally fine with Sam Barton, so I do not expect to touch that position. So here we go. The team headed into Week 17. This team can enter themselves into record books. If they can get the win today against the Eagles, 16-0 is really hard to do. Let's see if the Lions can get this show done. This team has definitely earned it. We're a super talented squad. And let the games begin. Welcome, everybody, to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, home for a rainy Week 17 game between the Detroit Lions, sitting at a record of 15-0, and the 6-9 Philadelphia Eagles, who are eliminated from playoff contention. The weather is sloppy. The game itself will likely be sloppy as well. So let's get right into it. 3rd and 7 here for Detroit. Tez Lawson going to look to throw it. Lawson going to start this game off with a first down over to Kenny Golladay. As Kaz would say, Gappy Galladays. Now from the 49, here is Lawson, the second-year man out of Florida State. Backing up in the pocket, now scrambling out of the pocket. Lawson going to take a shot downfield, and it's caught by Hawkinson. Excellent pocket awareness by Lawson, recognizing no one's open. Then he got out of the pocket and was able to connect with TJ Hawkinson. 4th and goal now from the 2. Here's Matt Prater on to kick a chip shot field goal. And the Lions are on the board. Here's the Eagle offense. Kyrie Troutman fumbles the ball, picked up, and returned for a touchdown by none other than Deontay Burnett, the former Detroit Lion. So Troutman fumbles it, but then Burnett picks it up and takes it for the touchdown. So the Eagles are now up 7-3, ensuing Eagles possession. There's Carson Wentz going downstairs where Daddy hides the vodka, courteous of the veteran Trey Flowers. Now 3rd and 8 from the 44. Here is Carson Wentz looking to throw it, taking a shot into the middle of nowhere. There were probably about 7 players there. Incomplete, but we got a flag. Pass interference on Chidobe Awuzie. Automatic 15 yards, automatic first down. That's huge. So now here's a 52-yard field goal attempt from the Eagles. Brandon McManus, his kick is going to be short. That's what she said. And to be specific, that's what she told me last night. So the score remains 7-3. Lions offense has it back. Tez Lawson in the zone. He's going to launch a prayer for a wide-open Lawrence Parnell, the Louisville product, with the 56-yard touchdown, and a rookie will give Detroit the lead. Excellent route, excellent pass from Lawson. Lions now up 10-7. There is Wentz getting it to his favorite target, tight end Zach Ertz, bringing it to the 31. And then the very next play, here's Carson Wentz's pants in the pocket because he had to run into Shaquem Griffin. One hand, don't care. The 17th sack of the season for Shaquem Griffin. Man, has he been special. 3rd and 11 now. There's Zach Ertz. Gets by Slay, breaks a tackle from Renwick, and gets it inside the 10. The Eagles are moving it. Now it's a 3rd and goal from about the 9. Wentz under pressure from Davis. Evades the pressure, but will still be sacked by Trey Flowers along with Jaquavius Highsmith, the 4th-round rookie out of Oregon. Here is the field goal for the Eagles. Brandon McManus will make it, and Philly will tie this game up at 10 apiece with about 6:25 in the second. Now at the 4:44 mark, 3rd down for Detroit. Here's Tez Lawson taking his time, going up the middle just a little, connecting with Kenny Golladay, who brings it to the 34-yard line. That would lead to another field goal. Here is Matt Prater, who's already 1 for 1 today, barely hooks that one in, and Detroit will regain the lead. And they'd also gained the ball before the end of the first half. Here is Kerryon Johnson on first down, a nice little run, trying to stiff-arm a defender, bringing it to the 45-yard line. And then the very next play, here is Tez Lawson, going to get it to the open man, the speedster, Lawrence Parnell, nothing but green, grass in front of them. And that'll be a Lions touchdown, but Louisville product with his second of the game. And Detroit is now up 20-10. Up by 2 scores here late in the half. Can the Eagles get a miracle? Here is Wentz on first down. Nearly picked by Awuzie. However, it's going to be caught by Zach Ertz. Look at it again. Awuzie should have had the interception, but Ertz grabs it. And that'll put the Eagles in field goal range with 9 seconds to go. Brandon McManus to make it a 1-score game. His kick would go in. And the Eagles will make it a 7-point deficit as we move to the second half. Here's Carson Wentz launching it into triple coverage. Incomplete. But we got a flag. Pass interference on the defense. Once again, Chidobe Awuzie. That'll move it to the 23. Now at the 4. First and goal. Here is Wentz under pressure. Going to the opposite side of the end zone. And it is caught by Zach Ertz for the touchdown. And this game is tied up at 20. Near the halfway mark in the third. Here is Lawson. Fake handoff to Sanders. Nice pass to Galladay. And Detroit is moving the chains. Now from the 8. First and goal. Lawson going to hand it off for Kerryon Johnson. Johnson, will he get in? Not quite. Brought down to the 1, and he is hurt. This is the risk of playing your starters in a meaningless Week 17 game. Luckily, Kerryon would be fine. He could have returned to the game, but the Lions decided not to risk it. And then here on second and goal, TJ Hawkinson with the touchdown. Now it's 27-20. Screen pass for JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Spin moves from Slay. But that's actually going to result in a loss of yards. To be specific, a loss of 7 for Arcega-Whiteside. Now 2nd and 17. Here is Wentz taking a deep shot, and it's going to be caught by Deontay Burnett, who brings it to the 1. Excellent grab by Burnett, who had the touchdown earlier, and then first and goal. Can the Eagles tie the game up with about a minute and a half to go in the third? Well, not on this play. Mike Renwick, the Defensive Rookie of the Year favorite of the NFC, getting the sack. Now it's third and goal. Here's Carson Wentz getting it to guess who? None other than Zach Ertz for the touchdown. And Detroit will tie the game up at 27. Or the Eagles will tie it up at 27 apiece, my bad. As on 2nd and 4, here is Galladay with a nice gain, bringing it to the 31. Big game in this one, as you can tell, for Galladay. He was busy. And now, next play, first down from the 31. Here's Lawson looking deep for TJ Hawkinson, who gets it to the 1, not quite in. But the Lions should be able to punch it in. First and goal at the 1. Here is Tez. He's going to look to throw it, believe it or not, and he's going to be sacked by Pierce. That'll be a loss of about 6. Now third and goal at the 3. Detroit, they're going to want to punch this in after that bad play call on first down. They are not going to be able to. The pass is broken up by the linebacker. Prater would make the field goal, so now Detroit leads it 30-27. Here is Wentz. Can the Eagles drive down the field and take the lead with 7.5 to go in the fourth? Well, that's not a good start. Shaquem Griffin with his second of the game. Now it's 3rd and 18. Back at the 19-yard line. Here is Wentz looking deep. He has an open man. That's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who burns Chidobe Awuzie for the first down. Nice play by JJAW. And then here is Zach Ertz. He's going to fumble it. Zach, I'd like to introduce you to Hit Stick Harry. Harrison Smith forces the ball out, recovered by Darius Slay, who's pushed out of bounds by Carson Wentz. But still, the Lions now have an opportunity to make it a 2-score lead late. Could this be the icing on the cake? Lawson on first down gets it to Juju Smith-Schuster, who gains 20. Detroit is getting awfully close to the end zone. 2nd and goal. Lawson has the open man, and it's once again, as Antonio Brown would say, Boo-Boo Schuster. And Juju will make it a 10-point lead for Detroit. Can they hold on? Here's Carson Wentz, nearly picked. Instead, Deontay Burnett makes the play, bringing it to the 28. Next play. Here is Wentz dropping back to throw it. The former number 2 overall pick out of North Dakota State, getting it to Ertz with the hat trick. His 3rd receiving touchdown of the day, as Harrison Smith is unable to catch up to him. So now the Lions are chewing some clock. 3rd and 2. Miles Sanders, did he get it? That was awfully close. They are going to give it to him. That was real close. Third down now from the 35. Back to Sanders. He does not get it. Eagles forced to call one last time out. So the Eagles can drive down the field and get the win. However, they will be starting this drive off at the 5. Let's see if they can get the comeback, or maybe not. The history books have been rewritten as Chidobe Awuzie is going to take it the distance. And bearing a miracle, the Lions are going to win it 16-0. You never thought you'd see the day. From 0-16 to the promised land, the Detroit Lions. And as an added bonus, Carson Wentz fumbles it there. But history has been made. Only the second team in the history of the National Football League to go 16-0. The 2022 Detroit Lions. We're going to go through the box score. This is not a regular scoreboard episode. As I said, we are doing a season recap. Tez Lawson, that might have been the best game I've seen him play as a Lion. He was outstanding. Carson Wentz played very well for the Eagles. Running the ball, Carry-On was good. Sanders was meh. 69 yards for Kyrie Troutman. Nice. We were looking at Troutman a couple years ago at New Mexico State, and it looks like he's played quite well for the Eagles. Big game, obviously, for Zach Ertz. He was a dominant force. All 4 of our big receivers played well. T.J. Hawkinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kenny Galladay, and Lawrence Parnell. Deontay Burnett also had a weirdly good game. The offensive line was very good. The only sack allowed was by the guard, Aaron Howard. Defensively, Harrison Smith with another 2 forced fumbles. He's been a menace this last month. 3 sacks for Shaquem Griffin. 1.5 for Trey Flowers, 1 for Renwick, and half a sack for Jaquavius Highsmith. Obviously, the pick 6 at the end from Chidobe Awuzie. 3 forced fumbles. I said Harrison Smith had 2. It turns out he only had 1. My apologies. So here's Taylor Bennett congratulating us on the historic milestone, 16-0. In my franchise experience, I've never gotten to become 16-0. So doing it with my favorite team, the Detroit Lions, certainly hits home. Certainly we can do this in 2022, but I'm not going to bet on it. So here's a final look at the regular season standings. In the AFC, Browns will be the 1 seed, Texans 2, Jets 3, Chiefs 4, Ravens 5, Colts 6. And honestly, all 6 of those teams are scarier than anyone in the NFC except for us, obviously. The NFC is very weak. Obviously, we're the 1. The only other team with double-digit wins, the Cardinals are the 2 seed, Panthers 3, Cowboys 4, Vikings 5, and Seahawks 6. Of this group, the Vikings scare me the most. Rookie quarterback Luis Salazar, he's good. He's really darn good. The 2 times we played him, even though we won both times, Salazar was outstanding for them. Let's look at the numbers. Tez Lawson, first in the NFL in passing yards, 3rd in touchdowns. The interceptions are a bit high. I would have liked him to have been a little bit more efficient, but Tez obviously was outstanding this season. He is our franchise quarterback, easily the most talented quarterback the Lions have ever had. I know we're only 2 years into his career, but he has been special. Now a 90 overall with morale. He has been quite something. If you compare his numbers to his rookie year, he was certainly better. Obviously, you got to remember, he didn't play that first 1.5 games because Matthew Stafford was still the guy. But rating-wise, efficiency-wise, it looks like Lawson was better. He did run the ball noticeably less, which I guess is interesting. And then Phillip Rivers and Le'Veon Worrell didn't even throw a football. Running game, Kerryon Johnson, nearly 5 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards, and he only played in 10 games. He got hurt back in Week 3 against the Giants. Didn't return until like Week 10 or 11 after the bye week, and he almost got 1,000. Miles Sanders is the backup. He was pretty solid as well. Then no one else really did too much crazy things. Juju Smith-Schuster was very solid in his first full season as a Lion. Remember last year, he spent the first half of the season recovering from his Achilles injury. T.J. Hawkinson over 1,000 yards, another great season. For rookie, Lawrence Parnell, nearly 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. And then Kenny Galladay, had he not gotten hurt and missed a couple of weeks, I'm sure he would have broken the 1,000-yard mark as well. He finished with 8 touchdowns too. So this four-headed monster receiver is just really special. And then Dwayne Stuber, I'm hoping to get him more involved in the offense next season. But he didn't do too much. The O-line was outstanding in my opinion. 14 sacks is a lot for Akeem Downing. I get it. But, you know, Madden's cheesing with some of these pass rushers. He had to play against Myles Garrett, DeMarcus Lawrence, Daniil Hunter twice, Khalil Mack twice. You get the point. So you can't really blame him. I'm happy with how he played. Defensively, Jared Davis led the way in tackles. He was very good this season. Very happy with what Davis has done as the middle linebacker. Not the same can be said in real life, though. Really hoping we move him to edge rusher. Shaquem Griffin, 19.5 sacks. He has been truly special since we traded for him. We got him at the end of Season 1, along with a 5th-round pick in exchange for Rick Wagner. And Shaquem Griffin was just a throw-in in that trade. But he's gotten double-digit sacks every season with us. His sack number has improved every year. He has just been truly special. 10.5 sacks for the rookie, Mike Renwick. 10.5 for Ed Oliver. Oliver was outstanding the first half of the year. Then he got Superstar X Factor and then did nothing the second half of the year. I think a lot of that does have to do with double teams, though, so I'm still really happy with Ed Oliver's first year as a Lion. Trey Flowers, 9 sacks. He was solid. Jaquavius Highsmith played pretty well. On to interceptions. 6 for the best name in the NFL. Got to clear the throat. Chidobe Awuzie. 2 for Harrison Smith. We'll talk about him more later. Or I guess right now, 12 fumble forces. I signed him to Cheese. The first 12 weeks of the season, he only had like 2 forced fumbles. And then the last 4 weeks, he went wild. So he did Cheese the last month or so. Tracy Walker was solid. Darius Slay, I think, is starting to regress a little bit. He had 2 interceptions, and he played well at times, but he dropped literally like 10 picks. I understand he's not going to catch them all. He's a defensive player, but come on. And then Justin Coleman with 1. He had another solid year. Matt Prater, yuck. He had 1 kick missed last year, and it was blocked, so it doesn't count. This year, he had 13 kicks missed, 10 of which were actual misses. I don't think he made a field goal beyond like 49 yards out, so this is not the same Prater we all knew and loved. And I think it is going to be time to move on during the offseason, look in free agency or the draft for a younger option. But still, Matt Prater going to go down as a Lion legend without a doubt. And then punting, Stan Martin continuing to do his thing. Lawrence Parnell was the kick returner and punt returner. Didn't do anything too crazy, but did his job. It's also worth noting that Tez Lawson, deservedly so, won the Player of the Week for Week 17. As I said, he was phenomenal. I think the best game he's had as a Lion. As your MVP goes to Deshaun Watson, leading the 12-4 Texans. Will we see them later in the playoffs? I don't know. Tez Lawson finishes in 5th. I think that's fair. The guys who finish ahead of him are Baker, Lamar, and Sam Darnold. Coach of the Year, it has to go to us. And indeed, Calvin Johnson wins Coach of the Year. But Bill O'Brien in 2nd, Freddie Kitchens in 3rd, Adam Gase in 4th. What? That's Madden for you. That's Madden. Here's a look at the AFC awards. Darren Lee wins Defensive Player of the Year from the Steelers. I was very high on Darren Lee coming out of Ohio State a few years ago. I guess he's going to now prove it to me in-game. Kent Fields was Offensive Rookie of the Year. Him and Luis Salazar were the big quarterbacks in this year's class. I think Fields has Superstar Dev and Salazar has Superstar X Factor. In the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year goes to Cam Newton. Shame this won't happen in real life. I think the Panthers did him dirty, but I do think at the same time he is a medical question mark, and I think he is kind of washed. Ted Lawson finishes in 2nd. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Donald. Shaquem Griffin ends up in 3rd. Mike Renwick in 6th. And then Harrison Smith in 9th. And Jared Davis finishes in 10th. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Luis Salazar. Lawrence Parnell in 2nd. Obviously, Parnell was outstanding this year, but Luis Salazar is a dog. He's a dog. He's a football player. I kind of want to play the Vikings in the playoffs because I want to watch Salazar again. Mike Renwick wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's very good to see. Jaquavius Highsmith finishes in 6th. Tez Lawson wins the Best Quarterback Award. Very good to see him being recognized. Best running back goes to Todd Gurley. And despite missing like half of the year, Kerryon Johnson does finish in 8th place. Best wide receiver goes to Juju Smith-Schuster. Lawrence Parnell ends up in 2nd, I guess, because he got all of his touchdowns. Best offensive lineman goes to David Bakhtiari. Frank Ragnow in 4th. Von Moulton in 5th. Decker in 7th. Downing in 8th. And Howard in 9th. So all 5 of our starters in the top 9. Best defensive lineman goes to Aaron Donald. Ed Oliver finish is in 10th. Obviously, he was a lot higher, like halfway through the year. The best linebacker will go to Khalil Mack. Shaquem Griffin finishes in second. I do believe Griffin led the NFL in sacks, though, so that's good. Jared Davis ends up in sixth. No sign of Mike Renwick. And then the best defensive back goes to Chidobe Awuzie. Harrison Smith also in the running. Best kicker goes to Kaimi Fairbairn. Obviously, there is no Matt Prater for obvious reasons. So here's a look at your playoff matchups here for the wild card round. Colts, Jets, Seahawks, Panthers, Ravens, Chiefs, and Vikings taking on them boys. So if Seattle wins, we'll play Seattle. If Carolina wins, we'll play the winner of the Minnesota and Dallas game, since Carolina's for 3, Dallas is for 4, the Vikings are the 5 seed, and the Seahawks are the 6 seed. So now have a moment of truth. Who will the Lions be playing in the divisional round? Last year, of course, it was the New Orleans Saints. We lost in heartbreaking fashion. The Lions have still not won a playoff game since January 5th, 1992. Don't ask why I exactly know that date. So I'm going to need a drum roll from you at home. Who will the Lions be playing against? And it turns out it will be... Okay, come on, any day. I don't have all day. It's going to be the 8-7-1 Dallas Cowboys. So this means Seattle won and Dallas won. This is ironic because the Cowboys are the one team we blew out this year. We didn't blow out anyone else, but we blew out the Cowboys. So that's kind of funny. Looking at the wild card, all 4 games finished within a touchdown deficit. The Jets beat the Colts 27-21. Panthers beat the Seahawks. Oh, no, the Panthers won. So I totally messed that up. Yeah, Carolina won, sorry. They won 28-21. Ravens lose to the Chiefs 34-31. And then Dallas beats the Vikings 27-24. So in the divisional round, the Chiefs are going to be playing the 1-seeded Cleveland Browns. The Jets will be playing the Houston Texans. And then in our conference, Panthers and Cardinals. And of course, the big one, 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, I guess the final game of the week, will be the Cowboys and the Lions. I will be premiering that likely this weekend for the memes, maybe 4:30 on Sunday, because why not? But that's going to be the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys are a little bit better with skill points and Pro Bowls, we'll go over the Pro Bowl once we hit the Super Bowl week. But that'll be it. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, have a good one. Peace out. Keep your stick on the ice. One pride. Go Lions. Screw the Packers. They suck.